Have you ever looked at your bank account at the end of the month and just thought, okay, the math isn't mathing here. You work hard, you make a decent salary, you try to do the right things, and yet, somehow, the money just slips away. You know that feeling, right? Sweating a little bit the week before payday, wondering where it all went? Well, welcome to This Explainer, where we're going to discover why feeling broke actually isn't just a math issue. It's a deeply neurological one. Today, we're looking at how our minds truly process money and why we are literally wired to make some pretty disastrous financial choices if we aren't paying attention. I absolutely love this quote. You don't have a money problem. Your brain may be the problem. It just perfectly captures the core challenge we're facing. Our neurological wiring and our psychological blind spots are actively sabotaging our wealth building. It's not necessarily that you lack discipline. The reality is human biology is fundamentally designed for the short term. Think about it. Our hunter-gatherer ancestors, they weren't wired to plan for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage or a Roth IRA. They were wired to find calories and survive the afternoon. And, well, our brains haven't really upgraded since then. We're navigating incredibly complex modern financial systems with prehistoric hardware. All right, let's dive into Section 1, your brain versus your money, and look at how these neurological blind spots completely sabotage our wealth.
Which brings us right to Section 2, the daily dopamine trap, focusing on micro-spending and instant gratification.
So here's the thing. Our brains crave instant gratification. We naturally prioritize immediate dopamine hits over long-term financial security. Every single time you buy something new, your brain gets a hit of this feel-good chemical. It absolutely loves dopamine, so it's constantly looking for shortcuts to get more of it. Think about that little thrill of seeing a package arrive at your front door or unboxing a shiny new gadget. Now contrast that with the feeling of transferring $200 into a retirement account. There's no physical package, there's no unboxing video to be made, it's invisible, it's boring, and it offers zero immediate rush. Your brain naturally rebels against that responsible choice because it wants the neurochemical reward, and it wants it right now. Let's look at how this plays out on a typical day. You grab a $6 iced latte on the way to work because, hey, you need a boost, right? Later on, you've had a super stressful afternoon, so you order a $25 food delivery for dinner because you deserve a treat. Meanwhile, a $15 streaming subscription you haven't watched in 3 months quietly auto-renews in the background. In the moment, every single one of these actions feels entirely justified. They give you a quick spike of comfort or convenience. But that feeling fades so fast, leaving your brain hungry for the next tiny purchase while completely ignoring how these seemingly harmless moments are silently building into a mountain of minor costs that totally drain your savings. And the reason we don't immediately panic about all these small purchases, it's because of a cognitive bias called mental accounting. Basically, our brains file money into different imaginary categories to justify our spending. For example, have you ever agonizingly debated over a $10 shipping fee online and abandoned your cart in pure frustration, only to go out that exact same evening and blindly drop $100 on cocktails and appetizers? Your brain categorizes the shipping fee as an outrageous extra cost, but that $100, that goes into the entertainment bucket, so magically it feels acceptable. This mental gymnastics tricks us into believing these frequent, tiny purchases don't actually affect our overall wealth. Now, let's move to Section 3, the home ownership wealth illusion, where we scale up those exact same psychological blind spots. Imagine you just closed on a $500,000 home. The paperwork is signed, the keys are literally in your hand, and you pull up your favorite real estate app and see that massive number attached to your name. Your brain immediately screams, I own a $500,000 asset. I'm rich. It's a huge dopamine hit, plus an incredible social status booster. You feel like you've finally made it. But then, Monday morning rolls around, the hot water heater breaks, the massive mortgage payment is suddenly due, and you check your actual checking account. That emotional peak of feeling wealthy slams right into the very harsh reality of being cash poor. See, while your brain is hyper-focused on the exciting, climbing home value, it completely ignores the relentless reality of cash-draining expenses. Beyond the mortgage payments and interest, there are property taxes and homeowners insurance, which, by the way, reliably increase over time. And then there are the repairs. Financial experts often say you should budget 1 to 4% of your home's value every single year just for maintenance. On a $500,000 house, that is potentially a $15,000 to $20,000 hidden bill. Just like mental accounting dismisses the $6 coffee, your brain just completely glosses over the thousands of dollars leaking out of your pocket every year just to maintain the asset you bought. Okay, Section 4, asset value versus cash flow. This is all about the difference between locked wealth and usable money. This really brings us to the core misunderstanding. On one side, we have an appreciating asset. That's wealth locked inside a home, which is not easily spendable. On the other side, we have usable income, liquid cash flow that's actually available for daily use and emergencies. An appreciating asset traps your wealth inside walls in a roof, which is entirely different from having usable income. I mean, you cannot pay for groceries with your roof. You cannot pay a sudden medical bill with your drywall. What often happens is people find themselves taking out high-interest credit card debt at like 24% just to cover a daily emergency, all while sitting inside $500,000 of trapped equity. Let's compare two neighbors to really see how this plays out. Person A dumped every single penny they had into a massive McMansion. From the street, they look incredibly rich and successful, but behind closed doors, they have absolutely no cash, they are incredibly stressed, and they're basically one missed paycheck away from total disaster. Then there is Person B. Person B bought a much smaller, more modest house, but they used the difference to build robust emergency savings and a super healthy investment portfolio. Person A has an illusion of wealth. Person B actually has money they can spend, money to weather a financial storm, and they can actually sleep peacefully at night knowing they have options. The right financial decision totally depends on your income, your location, your debt, and your long-term goals. To be clear, we aren't saying buying a home is bad. Far from it. But making the right choice means objectively evaluating your actual life instead of just following social comparison. The urge to buy a bigger house just because your friends are doing it, that's just another trick your prehistoric brain plays on you to secure status. Ignoring that social pressure is honestly a financial superpower. You have to align your housing choice with your real goals, whether that's early retirement, having the freedom to travel, or simply living with less stress. You have to do the actual math, not just the convenient mental accounting your brain prefers. Which leads us to section 5, 3 rules for saving. Let's talk about how to actually outsmart your brain and build wealth. All right, here are 3 practical rules you can use literally today to outsmart your brain and make saving significantly easier. Number 1, delay impulse purchases to beat instant gratification. Try the 24-hour cart rule. Put the item in your online cart, but close the tab. Just give that dopamine craving a full day to fade before you hit buy. Number 2, track micro expenses to conquer mental accounting. Print out your bank statement once a month and take a physical highlighter to every single food delivery, coffee, or subscription. Force your brain to look at the real, total numbers. And number 3, balance housing costs with liquid investments. Don't lock all your wealth inside a house. Be very intentional about building usable cash flow that gives you true freedom. I want to leave you with this final thought because it really summarizes everything we've explored about the brain's financial illusions. A house can be a great asset, but owning an expensive house and being wealthy are not always the same thing. There is a massive difference between owning stuff that just looks expensive to your neighbors and actually having the financial freedom to live your life on your own terms. Remember, true wealth isn't always visible from the street. Now, while this explainer is strictly for educational and entertainment purposes, and definitely isn't personalized financial advice, I do want to leave you with a direct challenge. Take a good, hard look at your bank account today and ask yourself honestly, is your brain building a real future of freedom and security for you, or is it just creating a very expensive, very stressful illusion? Thank you so much for joining me. Now get out there and outsmart your brain.